Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu announced on Sunday that the release of over 600 Palestinian prisoners under the ceasefire deal will be put on hold until Hamas stops its staged hostage handover ceremonies. Since the truce began on January 19, Hamas has freed 25 Israeli hostages, parading them before crowds and cameras in what Israel calls a disgraceful propaganda exercise. In the seventh hostage prisoner swap that took place on Saturday, Hamas released 6 Israeli captives, but Israel refused to release Palestinian detainees, triggering outrage from Hamas. Netanyahu's office issued a statement saying, in light of Hamas's repeated violations, including the disgraceful ceremonies that dishonor our hostages and the cynical use of hostages for propaganda, it has been decided to delay the release of terrorists until the next hostages are freed without the humiliating ceremonies. In Washington, US Secretary of State Marco Rubio issued a strong warning stating that if Hamas fails to release all the remaining hostages, it will face total destruction. Meanwhile, families of Palestinian prisoners gathered outside Israeli detention centers on Saturday waiting for their loved ones to be freed, only to be left disappointed.
The families are in a state of anger, a state of sadness, a state of resentment. The mediators must complete their role so that the families can rejoice in the release of their loved ones.
The 6 Israeli hostages freed on Saturday were the last group of living captives set to be released under the Phase 1 of the truce deal. Hamas had agreed to hand over 33 hostages in total as part of this phase. The first phase of the ceasefire deal is set to expire in early March, leaving uncertainty over what comes next. Hamas has released a video showing 2 Israeli hostages in captivity watching Saturday's exchange. Hamas still holds 62 hostages in Gaza, including 35 that the Israeli military believes are dead. With the ceasefire deadline approaching, tensions remain high, and the fate of the remaining hostages hangs in the balance. Bureau Report, DD India.